Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a message that I received, and it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nanshi, how are you? Please post my story as hidden identity. I am a Zimbabwean man who is currently struggling spiritually, and I need advice as to what am I supposed to do. This is my confession of how I messed up in South Africa, and I hope that it is going to be a warning to other men as well. When you are doing your deals, your wife can know what deals you are doing, because she will never tell anyone as long as this is what is making you to live a better life. But once you start to tell your girlfriend everything that you do, your girlfriend can turn around and she will hurt you too bad. It was in the early 2000s when I came to South Africa. This was a very long time ago, before a lot of Zimbabweans had started to come to South Africa. I can say that I was someone that had a lot of money. I was a king in Capetown. I came here, I was already a gang member in Zim. We used to steal from the railway tracks when I was still in my country. So I had connections in Zim as well as connections in Messina of big people that used to buy the steel that we were stealing in Zim, and we would transport it to South Africa. We would move in the bushes back in those days. I never had a degree, but I was someone that was very smart. I knew electricity because I had friends with people that worked for this big electric company in our country that taught me. We used to drain oil. In those days when Zim had a shortage of fuel, what we used to do was that we would go to an electric transformer. So there is a certain type of oil that is inside, and we will take it. We will then mix it with fuel. You can drive your car, but it will definitely mess up your vehicle. So we would mix that fuel, and we will end up selling it to other people that were selling fuel by the side of the road. So I was very experienced, and I was a copper cable thief, and I found myself in South Africa. We would go into substations at night, and whenever we will do this, it was obvious that we had other people from the inside that was assisting us, because there is no way that you can run such a business. Whilst you are running such a business, you do not have any connections from the people in the inside. We will do it even if they say that there was a fault in a particular area. We would be communicating with those people. They would tell us when this particular area they were fixing and when the lights were going to come back on, so we can work as quickly as possible. There were times when they would even wait for hours, just pretending as if they were fixing some power lines, yet they knew that there were other guys that were busy cutting the copper cables, and we only targeted those heavy industrial areas because we wanted those heavy industrial copper cables. We would go into substations at night, risking your life. You know, when you go into a substation, it is a different world. The electricity there, it is 1,000 volts, and we will just take the copper from the ground. And I graduated from just being a runner going to steal, because when you are stealing copper cables, there are those that just go to steal. They don't make a lot of money, but the ones that make money are the big boys that stay in the estates, drive big cars. Even when there is an arrest, they will never get arrested because they work through other people. So you will never know that these people are the ones that managing the whole operation. So I graduated and I invested, whilst some of my friends that I would go with underground to cut the copper cables, they would spend all of that money on drinking alcohol, going to clubs. As for me, I started to invest. I then started a big business of a scrapyard. This scrapyard, it was running legal, but there were other things. As someone that was used to this type of stuff, I was running this illegal scrapyard at night. There were copper cables that would be brought in, aluminium, different stuff that was not allowed. Then we would melt it and make it new and sell it to other big bosses, and these big bosses, they can ship it out of South Africa. So it is like a very big network. I was making a lot of money. I had many workers that were working for me, but I then became arrogant. I dumped my first Zimbabwean wife, and then I got married to another woman who was from Zim. And after we had gotten married, she was a professional. She was teaching at a certain private school in Capetown. So this woman, what she hated was cheating, even though she eventually found out after we had gotten married that the way that I made my money, I was making my money due to these illegal things that I was doing. But she did not mind at all, because we had a very beautiful house. We had cars that we had parked in our garage, but I forgot where I came from. Ever since I came to South Africa, with the amount of money that I was making, one would think that I could have remembered my own relatives back in Zim, but I did not remember them. I eventually forgot about my relatives that I had left in Zim, including my first wife and the kids. My relatives that were back in Zim would call me, begging me for help, money for school fees, money to pay the bills, and I would hang up on them. I told them that I did not have money, even though whenever I would go back to Zim, I would be driving a BMW. I thought that money had made me to become like a god. But then in 2011, the law finally caught up with me. They raided my yard. I lost everything, and I only found out when I was in prison, because my wife, she just wanted to hurt me. She came to visit me, and she told me that my South African girlfriend was the one that had gone to the police. So what had happened for my girlfriend to go to the police? As someone that had money, all of her friends, they wanted me. I want to confess that I slept with 5 of her friends, not because I wanted to. These girls, they would come to my office and they would start to seduce me. They would even go as far as removing their clothes. As a man, what was I supposed to do about it? So my girlfriend then found out that I had slept with 5 of her best friends. She was angry at me, saying that I had destroyed the relationship that was there with her friends. And then she demanded that I buy a house for him and I buy a car. And she wanted money. This money that she wanted for me to buy a house for him in the location, she wanted to use that house so that she can put tenants. And then the car, she wanted to use it for a delivery business. She wanted a backing so that she can do a franchise for a courier. So what I did not know was that she had already spoken with a friend, the one that I had not slept with, but she liked me quite a lot. He was married as well, so I used to assist her in secret. I would give him some money, and then she had told me that my girlfriend, what she had said was that once I had made that mistake of buying a house which she had seen in the location, it was going for around 600,000. It was an already built house in the locations, and she would build some back rooms. And she was like, the money that is giving me for allowance, if I put about 6 back rooms as well as the main house, if I put tenants, I'll be getting maybe around 8k to 10k a month, which means that I won't need him anymore, and I am working as well, and I will be having another business. So this was what my friend told me, and when she told me this, I thanked her quite a lot. I gave her money. So then I started to drag my feet slow in buying the car as well as giving her the cash that she wanted so that she can go and purchase that house. She got mad when she found out that I had spoken with a friend, and then she went to this other guy who was an undercover cop who had approached him asking about the business that I was running. You know, women, I had told her everything. She was my girlfriend, and usually we tell our girlfriends more stuff than we can ever tell our wives. I really do not know why it is like so, but it is just the things that us men do when we are with our girlfriends. We open up even more about some of the stuff that we are not supposed to share with them because they are only loyal to our money. When the money is removed from the equation, she will just sell you to the police without even thinking twice. So she told that undercover cop everything, and she did not even let me know that this was what she had done and I was supposed to run away. So I was sitting at home enjoying my whiskey. That was when the raid happened. I lost everything overnight. The house, the cars, the bank accounts were frozen. Whilst I was in prison, the world, it literally moved on without me. My wife was not going to wait. She was already a professional, and she had once told me to start another business because already we had made a lot of money. But since this was like the only thing that I knew, this was the only business that I could run very well. So my wife did not wait. She then took some of the money and she left Cape Town, went to Zim. Eventually, she made her way to the UK to work as a nurse aide. When I was finally released from prison, I did not even have a cent. Most of my Zim friends, they had moved on. Those that I knew that were still in that business when I was arrested, some of them, they were no longer in Cape Town, and I did not have any contact because I had no legal papers. By the time that I got out, I was deported back to Zim. I landed in Zim with nothing. I still remember the day when the bus arrived, when it dropped us off in Harare. I had nothing but the clothes that I had when I was arrested. After so many years, nearly 6 years had passed whilst I was in prison. As for Harare, it had changed. I had even forgotten about it. I went to my family home, but when I got them, they just rejected me. Of course, they were not going to chase me to make me to go to the street, but the treatment will tell you that you are not welcome. I had been spending money, enjoying money with my South African girlfriend, and not even thinking about my relatives. Had gotten married to my wife, who was from Zim, but she did not like my relatives as well. So this made the situation to become even worse. So for 2 years, I lived in hell. I went from someone that used to enjoy life to prison, and now I was selling apples and oranges in Harare. And it was terrible for someone that used to drive your G-Wagons. All of a sudden, now you are a street vendor. But as human beings, you will adapt. You will get used to it. Whenever someone would drive by driving a beautiful BMW, it will just hurt me. I would start to think about the money that I used to have when I was in South Africa. In Shona, we have a particular saying, and we say, "Matakajga kare anyara dzimwana," meaning that if you ate food today and you give the food to your child, then tomorrow, if your baby is hungry, you can't tell them that yesterday we ate food. And if your baby is crying, it's not going to stop because yesterday you gave them food to eat. I was in that situation. And once you have become poor and you used to be rich, you tell everyone that you used to be rich, and people will end up laughing at you. That was when I met another guy. He was from Tare. I met this guy and we ended up traveling together to Chipinge, and I had some of the money that I had been saving because I wanted to buy a smaller car, but it was going to take me maybe 2 years or so. So I had been saving $100 here and there, thinking of buying an old vehicle so that I can start to go to the mines where they were illegally digging up for the gold, starting a business there. When we went to Jebinge, that was when I was given magic money. I was given a bead that I was supposed to keep in my wallet at all the times. And I returned back and I was told to buy a coffin, and I was supposed to go and leave this coffin in a cave and to write the names of all of my relatives, which I did when I was still in the shrine. Brother, from selling mangoes, bananas, and fruits in the street, I then owned a small shop in town. Then I got involved in transport business. but the price was immediate. The healer had told me that I was never supposed to have clean intimacy with a woman. I am not allowed to sleep with a woman only when they are on their periods. That is when I am supposed to sleep with a woman. So in the beginning of my money rituals, I spoke with several prostitutes, and that is how I contracted HIV, because I'm not allowed to sleep with a woman using protection. So I would sleep with these prostitutes only when they were on their periods and not using any protection at all. I thought that this was all that was going to be needed from me. I did not know that there was something else that was going to be needed. My brother, he passed away. It was in the year 2019 when my brother passed away. He died in a tractor accident there in South Africa. He was working on a farm. Then an accident happened. He found himself underneath the tractor and he passed away. My sister's daughter died as well, and everyone that has their name that I wrote on that piece of paper started to die. So it has been happening. Now I see that these people that have their names that I wrote on the piece of paper, they now die after each and every 2 years. In the family, there is someone that dies after each and every 2 years. So what has become terrible for me is that these sexual requirements that I am supposed to do, sleeping with women only when they are on their periods, it is becoming difficult, because as for now, I am staying with a woman whom I want to get married to. I don't know how it happened, but she fell pregnant whilst she was on her period, because that is when I only sleep with him. She also complains that how is it possible that you love me but you only sleep with me when I am on my period. I can't tell her the truth, and I feel as if I can't do it anymore. Do you know how old I am, brother? I am 49 years old. The prostitutes that I used to give money so that I sleep with them when they are on their periods, some have died and some have moved on, and they have refused to give it to me only when they are on their periods. So I am always constantly looking for girlfriends online, and when I date a woman, somehow during the conversation I ask her as if I do not want her to fall pregnant when her period dates are, and then I meet her when she is on her periods. If I find out that she is not on her period, I do something to stop us from making love. I can give her money and lie to her that I am going to a meeting and wait until she is on her period so that I can sleep with her. Usually I am meeting these young women that are going to university in WhatsApp groups as well as on Facebook. I target the young ones, but I am tired of sacrificing the family. I want to stop, but I went to this other Sangoma who said if you stop and if you try to live a clean life, the spirit will leave you, and when the spirit leaves you, this will be like a divorce, and it is going to take everything that it gave to you. The money that you have right now, you're going to return back to poverty. So I have been sitting here and I have been thinking, should I continue to live in such a life, or should I just say it is better that I go and live in poverty? This is my confession, my bro. Please do not shame the name of the ghost account that I am using, since I also use it online. I am begging family for you to pray for me. I am here in Harare. I have tried to attend several churches, the prophet churches, but you know that these churches, some of them, it is all about money. So I once went to a church and I saw that they were all about money, and I decided to stop going to that church. When you post, you will inform me, and please give me a link so that I can watch it on YouTube, not here on Facebook, please. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to us by one of our dear brother. Let us try to speak with our brother in the comment section. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Yo, can you imagine?